Hello and welcome to Lockdown Mathematics. Today we're going to be looking at some calculus problems for rules for differentiation. Okay, so let's start with the first question. In the first question, we have f of x is equals to x. So the question asks us to find the derivative of that function that we're dealing with. So in question 1.1, to get f prime x, the answer will be 1, which is the coefficient of x. Over here, our answer for question 1.2 will be minus 4. Let's look at question 1.3. Here we got an x squared term. So what you're going to do to find the derivative is you're going to take this exponent, times it by the coefficient that's in the front, and then minus 1 from that exponent. So f prime becomes simply 2x. Okay, question 1.4. The answer would be 3 times 2, which is 6, x to the power 2 minus 1, which is 1. Okay, question 1.5 is minus 3x squared. Okay. Question 1.6 is going to give you 6x squared. Okay, now here in question 1.7, what you're going to do is you're going to convert 1 over x to the power 2, x to the power minus 1, and then we can find the derivative. So the derivative of this function, so I want to find what f prime is minus 1 times the coefficient of x to the power minus 1. That gives me minus 1x to the power minus 1 is minus 2. Now say in your test or exam they ask you as a positive exponent. Then this would be rewritten as minus 1, so the coefficient at the top as your numerator, divided by x to the positive exponent being 2. And so that's how you'll get this solution here. Similarly, here you got, we're going to rewrite in 1.8 f of x as minus 2x to the minus 1. And so if I want to get f prime, then I'll get an answer of minus 1 times minus 2 is positive 2x to the power minus 2. And if I want it to be a positive exponent, then this would be 2 over x squared. Okay, so those were some fairly simple questions just to get you comfortable with some derivatives and how you can solve them by rules for derivatives. Okay, so let's look at some more, a little bit slightly complicated but not hard type of examples. So the next thing we will be looking at is this question here. It says differentiate the following with respect to t. So what that is asking is to find in question 1 what is g prime t, and in question 2 what is k prime t. Okay, so let's look at question 1. Right. So you cannot find the derivative of any product, right? We're in matrix, so what we should do is we should be able to FOIL this out. So that's going to be the number one step whenever you see a multiplication or a multiplication of two sets of factors. What you should do is multiply everything out into individual terms and then differentiate them. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at here. Here's the solution. So let's go through it. So foiling out t plus 1 gives you t squared plus 2t plus 1, right? And then you're going to multiply each term into t minus 3, and you'll get this long big term here, which is t cubed plus 2t squared plus t minus 3t squared minus 6t minus 3. So we can then simplify our cube terms. There's t cubed, so t cubed will remain the same. Our squared terms, there's 2t squared minus 3t squared, and that gives me minus t squared. Then you can group your t terms, right? T to the power 1 terms, so positive t minus 6t gives me minus 5t. And your constant is your constant, so it's minus 3. Okay, multiply 4 into the bracket, we get this expression, and now I can differentiate it. So 3 times 4 will give me 12t squared, 2 times 4 is minus 8t, and minus 20t is just the coefficient minus 20, and that's how simple it is. Okay, so moving on to question 2. So question 2 is similar to question 1, except that I need to write it with no division. So it has to be each in separate terms like that, but there mustn't be any division or multiplication before you resume. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the square root of t as t to the power half, but because it's in the denominator, I'll have to write it as a negative exponent. Okay, and so moving down, that what we're going to first do on the numerator is we're going to FOIL it out. So t plus 2 is t squared minus 4t, plus 4t plus 4, so that's done. Then you're going to multiply t plus 2 into each term, and you'll get t cubed plus 6t squared plus 12t plus 8 divided by t to the half. Now if I want to write this as a product, this t to the half will be written as a negative exponent, t to the minus half, like I mentioned earlier, and you will times it by the numerator. So what that gives us is t to the power 5, that is t to the power 5 over 2 plus 6t to the power 3 over 2 plus 12t to the half plus 8t to the minus half. That is what you get for kt. Now, to find the value of k prime t, I know this is just a typo error, so it's supposed to be k prime t. You multiply the exponent to the front and then subtract 1 from the exponent, and this will be your solution. Right? You can double check that as you go along practicing these examples. Okay, it's always important to try and write it as a positive exponent form, right? But if they don't specify it in the question, it's fine to leave it as is. Okay, so rules for derivative is pretty simple. It just comes with just practice. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until we meet again, just drop a like and comment, and if there's anything you want me to do, let me know and I'll get back to you. Goodbye.